This is a review I found of Brick, the neo-noir, on totalfilms.com when I was researching reviews, as I thought it could help me when I write my own to see what other people are like when they write one. So I've analysed it. So looking at the beginning, it starts off with very informal language to sort of draw in the audience and relax them at the same time, so that they enjoy what they're reading. It starts off with plays on quotes and words that we know, sort of best days of our lives, when he's talking about being a kid at school, so we sort of have an idea of what the film's sort of set in the school environment. He also mentions interviews that he's had watched with directors and writers on the DVD. There's also advertisement of the DVD so that the reader may then want to watch it themselves. He then goes on to talk about the fact that it's sort of two genres and how he subverts the old film noirs, again telling the audience the type of genre it is and what they should expect in the film, giving them as much information as he can. Everything is very positive in this review, so the audience would know that it's a good film to watch. He also quotes Rian Johnson, the writer and director of the film, which again tells us that he's done his research and so we know it's a reliable source, that he thinks it's a good film to watch. He then goes on to talk about the plot and the beginning of the film, analysing the opening. So he says, Brick begins with a dead blonde lying face down in the muddy water. So we already have a notion that there's going to be the theme of murder and crime in the film, like a normal film noir is. He also summarises the plot in quite a nice way. It's quite easy to read, so that and quite understandable, so the reader will know what's happening. He also adds in catchy phrases such as "start shaking things up" when he talks about the plot and what's going to happen with Joseph Gordon-Levitt's character. So going on to the next part of the review, as he carries on talking about the plot, he starts to bring in the other actors' names as he talks about the rest of the characters in the film. So sort of like he says here, by misfit friend the brain, in brackets Matt O'Leary. So as you go through, if you recognise a name, you might be more interested in seeing the film. If you know the actor, if you like the actor, you're more likely to go and see it, sort of thing. He also then still adds little plays on words with the further down in the paragraph, the "so far so noir" part, where he repeats the so that we realise that the film is quite set in its conventions with film noir, so we realise it's a neo-noir as he brings in new elements as well. And then he again puts quotes in from the directors to tell us that he's done his research and that he knows what he's talking about. Throughout this, it's all very positive feedback that he gives about the film, and then in the next paragraph he looks into the conventions that it has that are noir. He says here, so by eschewing the traditional noir motives of deep shadows, guys in hats and moody black and white for the sunny environs of California, where he grew up, and swapping the mean streets of LA for the hallways of his old high school, he edges the mood closer to the suburban paranoia. So he's basically telling us sort of elements that are in the film which show it as film noir, so the moody black and white colourings and the guys in hats and the shadows and the use of a suburban environment is also very often commonly used in film noirs. So as we come to the last two paragraphs of the review, it's still all very positive, and he starts to talk about the extras that you can get on the DVD, which again would make his advertisement of the DVD and makes the reader wants to go and buy it and watch the film. Everything he words is very positive in the first sentence, as befits a film that's dense and daring. He uses alliteration again to describe the film. He also uses a lot of great wording which just sticks in your mind, so you remember it and you want to go out and watch the film. So he puts here, we are still gifted with a fascinating comparison between the directors, and he even talks about parts of the interview, so he obviously has watched it and we know it's a reliable source, as he brings in comical elements at the fact apparently Johnson wrote some of the scenes in his flat using wine glasses and kitchenware as screen tests. So in the last paragraph he sort of sums up his opinion of the film and how positive he is about it. He states, Brick gives up its secret slyly, so again he's praising the plot and the idea that it's interesting and you want to carry on watching. And it's just, he uses a lot of interesting adjectives and catchy phrases just to finish off the review, something you remember as part of the review, and it might make you then go and watch it. He puts here, it's fearlessly composed, and then he puts the noir knowingness and smarty pants vernacular might prove to be a barrier for casual viewers. So he's saying if you're not a massive movie fan, you might not understand everything, but then he puts, but give a little back and Brick really kicks. So he says just give it time and you'll love it just as much as anyone else because it's such a good film. Ending it with that sort of catchy phrase is something again that's a bit different, something you might remember, so it's something you'd then go and want to watch, as he's made it sound so interesting and positive and has praised the film really well.